Afternoon. As we continue to take time each week, Keith, Elias, and I, to share a short message of encouragement. Wednesday's my turn. And the title of today's little message really is Taking Every Thought Captive, Not Allowing Our Minds to Wander. A grave danger many people face is the unknown, the uncertainty of tomorrow, of next week, the uncertainty of next month. When will we return to normal, and what will that new normal look like? That uncertainty can cause stress and anxiety. Listen again to the words of Jesus in Matthew 6:34. Do not be anxious about tomorrow. Did you hear those words? Do not be anxious about tomorrow. In the context, it is because God knows our needs and He cares about our needs. But it's also because God knows that worry and anxiety tend to lead us down dangerous, destructive paths. So what is the cure to all of this uncertainty? What is the cure to help us guard our hearts and minds from worry and anxiety? Remember, we are in a battle, and so we must prepare ourselves for this battle. Let me give you a few practical steps. First, in 2 Corinthians 10:5, Paul writes, "Take every thought captive to the obedience of Christ." My friends, I know we cannot always control the thoughts which come into our minds. We do have an amazing amount of control over what we do with those thoughts. And so by God's grace and His power, when worry or anxiety rear their ugly heads, say no. Do not allow yourself to keep going down that destructive path. But it's not always that simple, that easy to just say no. So God gave us some additional tools. The second being Romans 12, verses 1 and 2. Paul writes to the churches in Rome, "Do not be conformed or squeezed into the mold of this world. Instead, be transformed." How? How do we become transformed? By the renewing of your mind. So how do you renew your mind? You choose what it is you focus upon. Paul writes in Colossians, "Set your mind on things above." Choose to place your mind on the things in the eternal, in the heavenly, rather than on the things of this life, this world. This helps us to refocus as we return to the reality of who Jesus is and what He has accomplished for us. B, pour out your heart to God. Lay the worry at His feet. Then return to that state of thankfulness. Philippians 4:6 and 7, Paul writes, "Be anxious for nothing, but in everything, by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God, and the peace of God, which passes all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." This is not ignoring the problem. Rather, it is acknowledging things are out of my control. So why worry? Isn't our God bigger? He can handle things. See, worry is trying to deal with something that we don't have control over, and it's uncertain, and we're taking it into our own hands instead of saying, "God, it's yours." As we battle against worry or anxiety, let me review. Take every thought captive, renew our minds, and 3, be proactive in what we allow into our minds in the first place. Use a filter on what and how much we allow the media to influence our thinking. Philippians 4:8, Paul gives us a grid, a filter through which we can and should view things and listen to things. He writes, finally, brethren, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is of good repute, if there is any excellence, and if anything worthy of praise, let your mind dwell on these things. There's an old expression that still holds true today. G-I-G-O. Garbage in, garbage out. Worry in, worry out. My friends, Jesus longs to be your source of strength, your comfort, your hope, your peace. Will you turn to him in these uncertain, tumultuous times? He will fulfill his promises. Why worry when instead you can rest in the arms of Jesus?